Hello, everyone. It's so nice to finally be able to meet you. I know it's been a long process from the application until everything was sorted, and then it's really our pleasure to meet you today. And so, first of all, this meeting is going to be recorded, this session. Because we would like you to be able to go back to it whenever you like to refresh your memory with all the information that we're going to say today. So I'd like first to introduce myself. I'm Lamis Al-Khair. I'm the training lead at the AREN program, and I'll be your facilitator for this session. And you also have Emmanuel, who is actually the lead of AREN, and he will be the co-host for this session. So the idea of this session is to sort of give you an overview about the training program and what we have planned and what are the different tools that we'll be using during the training. And of course, it's also important for us to hear from you if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, because like as you're going to see, AREN is a community-led program. So we want you to sort of guide us on how to go about this training. So let me share my screen. So can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
we can.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, we can. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. So as I said, today is just an orientation session about the training program and for you to get to know us and us to get to know you more. And first of all, I would like to welcome you all to this training program. And we are really excited to sort of embark on this journey together in the hope of making open science the norm in Africa. And before we start our session, we'd like to thank those who helped us to make this training program possible. So all of the infrastructure that was needed to sort of set up this training program was done via funding from the ORFG program. And all the trainers that you're going to meet and interact with during this training session has actually volunteered to help us. And we're very grateful for their help, that despite their busy schedules, they still like to help us in this training program. And I'm sure that you will enjoy all the sessions. So before we continue, there is a very important thing that we all have to agree upon, is that we have a certain code of conduct, which is this is a training environment that has so many people coming from so many different backgrounds. So we'd like all to agree to a conduct that will ensure that all of us achieve the best out of this training program. So first of all, as I said, we come from so many different backgrounds, even though that we're all Africans, but Africa is, you know, a big continent with so many diversity. So we have to accept that all of us have different backgrounds, different experiences. So we have to embrace this diversity among us. We would like also to make sure that our communication and our comments are always constructive, because we are here to learn from each other. So I think making use of the experiences that each of us have should be sort of funneled into a constructive communication. Then, of course, we would like all to collaborate because, as I said, this is a collaborative environment. So it would be great for all of us to help each other, for us to share resources among each other. And finally, we have to maintain professionalism in disagreement. I'm sure that we're going to come to some points that we disagree on, but again, we have to keep it constructive and keep it as professional as possible. And in case that any one of you have encountered an incident where there is a violation in this code of conduct, you can directly email us at the team@africanrn.org, or you can, we have a Google forum for you, which is an incident report form where you could also report the incident through it. Please, if you have any questions, you might like raise your hand, and then I could stop and elaborate more. Emmanuel, if you could let me know if anyone has their hand raised.
Yes,
So,
sure.
okay. So for today's session, we'll be diving into giving you a brief introduction about AREN. And an overview of the training program, and we'll let you know a bit about yourself. And then we will sort of try to go in details about the breakdown of the training and what is expected from you and what you could expect from by the end of this training program. And also, of course, we'd like to have a Q&A session and hopefully have everything answered by the end of this orientation session. So about AREN, as I said, it's a community-led initiative, and our main aim is to bridge the gap in open science advocacy and practice across the African continent. So again, at AREN, we are sort of looking at the community to guide us on how to go about. So this is a very important aspect of AREN. And our main mission is to support researchers and academics and professionals in academia and give them the resources that would enable them to sort of keep pace with the escalating global request for openness and reproducibility in research, because this is going really fast. I think within the next maybe 5 years, like openness and reproducibility are going to be a must in all academic and research areas. And we are also part of an international community. AREN is not working separately. There are many other reproducibility networks all around the world, and we are sort of working in harmony, hopefully to make one big global network of scientists and researchers and professionals who are passionate about open science. So you can see that from this slide, there are so many other reproducibility networks. There's the UK Reproducibility Network was the first network to be established, and then it sort of spread all over the world. And as you can see, most of them are national networks, but AREN is currently a continent network, but we're hoping that over the years, we have national networks in all African countries. So now I'll talk a bit about the training program of the local network leads. And the purpose of this training program is mainly to engage grassroots researchers. So is there any question? Okay. So our main purpose in this training program is to engage grassroots researchers, because we noticed that there are many open science initiatives going on in Africa, but they've been mostly sort of talking to policymakers, to administrators, and we noticed that there's a gap in initiatives that would address the grassroots researchers, because you guys are the people who are doing the work. The researchers, the academics, and the librarians, and all the professionals who are working in research and academic institutions in Africa. So this is the main purpose of this training program, is to engage all those at the grassroots. And through these training programs, of course, we would like to support the formation of local networks. And it's obvious from the name. So we'd like to engage the grassroots researchers and then have them engage their local networks. And of course, at the end, we're hoping to grow a continent-wide community that is well equipped with all the knowledge and skills that are needed to sort of practice open science and reproducibility. So first of all, I would like to give you a clear definition of what we mean by a local network. And basically, local networks, or they're sometimes called nodes. So they are informal and self-organizing groups of researchers, academics, and professional staffs that form a community of practice. And of course, the practice that we're hoping to achieve is the practice of open science. So what would be the responsibilities of a local network lead? Because by the end of this training program, we're hoping to have you as local network leads. So it's important to clear out the responsibilities or what is expected from you after successfully completing this training program. So of course, you represent AREN at your host institutions. You will be tasked with identifying and engaging with researchers, students, and staff that are interested in open science. And of course, you'll need to lead and coordinate training activities within your local network, within your institution. And you need to disseminate and promote good practice in open science within your network. So you will sort of be the role model that your whole network or your whole institution will be looking for as a sort of information, and also as a source of information and as a guide to help them in achieving best practices in open science. And then, of course, we would like your responsibilities to extend beyond just your local networks, because we would like this mission to extend to all of Africa. So by us collaborating and joining hands as local network leads, we could then make sure that these practices are spread all over Africa. So a little bit about you, about our trainees. So actually, we have about more than 60 trainees who have been accepted into the training program. And you come from 20 different African countries. And we think that this is really amazing and fascinating because we will have a wealth of experiences, different experiences from these different countries. And you also come from so many different disciplines and sub-disciplines. And also you have various institutional positions and various years of experience. So we think that this is sort of a treasure for this training program, is having this largely diverse group trying to work together to achieve a common goal. So I think all of us are going to learn a lot from each other. So now we would like you guys to sort of get to know each other. So we're going to break you into breakout rooms, and we will give you about 5 minutes for you to chat a little bit and get to know each other. Of course, We'll have more of these as we go through the training program so that you could like get to know each other more. But this is sort of to get the conversation started. Okay, so welcome back, and I hope it was a joyful few minutes for you to start to get to know each other. And of course, this interaction is very important for you to learn from the experiences of others and to help each other. So now that we're done with sort of getting to know each other, I would like to talk a bit about the structure of the training. So the training is the training will span the period of 6 months, and this 6 months is divided into 3 levels. Okay, level 1 is going to be in April and May, and this level is mainly aimed at equipping you with the knowledge and basic understanding of different topics of open science. So at level 1, we're just going to make you, because most of you have not been familiar with open science, so we'd like you to just know and understand the different topics of open science. In level 2, which is going to be in June and July, it's going to be more about practical implementation of open science. We're going to show you how to implement open science in your work, in your studies, and in your research. So level 2 is going to be more of workshop oriented and trying to equip you with practical skills that are needed to practice open science. And in the final level, because as we said, you're going to be the ambassadors of AREN at your institution. So we'd like to train you on some of the skills that are important for you to act as trainers and to transfer this knowledge to your community. So this is like just a general overview of the 6 months or what is going to be included within the 6 months of training. So the topics, because open science is really, really big, and it involves so many aspects, but we sort of chose some of the main most important aspects of open science for this training program, which are reproducibility, open access, preprints, open source and open repositories, open data, and open peer review. So these are going to be the main topics that our training is going to revolve around. And of course, at the very beginning, we will have a session that is an introduction to open science, so that we show you sort of the big umbrella of open science. But then the more focused trainings is going to be on these open science topics. And so we have certain expectations from you during the training. And of course, this would be very important for you to try to accomplish as much as possible so that you could move forward in the training program. So first of all, it's very important for all of us to abide by the code of conduct. We want this to be a safe space, a collaborative space. We would not like to make anyone feel unwelcomed or uncomfortable to freely share their ideas and their views. So it's very important to maintain a very safe and collaborative environment. Then we would very much like your active participation in the training. So like we require you to have minimum 50% attendance to live sessions, because of course we understand that life could get so busy at some points. So, but we would really like if you could at least attend 50% live, because of course we will provide you with the recordings of the training, but then the live discussion and the live participation is very, very important. Then we will have some assignments and surveys during the training. So we expect you to at least do 90% of these assignments. And of course, these are mostly going to be like you will have some time to do these assignments. They're not going to be done live. So we hope that you would at least complete 90% of these assignments. And most importantly, we'd really appreciate if you respect the deadlines, because each assignment is going to have deadlines. Each survey is going to be open for a certain amount of time. So we'd really like for you to abide by these deadlines. For example, we have the now we sent out the survey of the pre-training, and I would really encourage everyone here who didn't fill this survey to please do it, because it will probably be closed after the first or second week of the training. So as I said, these are the sort of tasks or things that would be expected from you during the training. And as I said, this would funnel into the evaluation, your evaluation. And your evaluation is actually going to be, will help us in determining whether you advance with us to the next training levels, because if you're not committed at level 1, and if you're not like actively participating and completing assignments, you will not be moving to level 2. So this is very important to keep in mind. So maintaining active participation and completing assignments and surveys within deadlines and respecting the code of conduct will determine if you advance to the next training level or not. And it will also determine whether by the end of this training program, you would actually be assigned as a local network lead, because this is only the training. You being accepted into the program does not mean that you are recognized by AREN as a local network lead, but this would be actually determined by the end of the training. So is there any question at this point? Because I think this is a very important slides. Do we have any questions in the chat, Emmanuel?
So far, I think it's about whether someone can be added or not, really related to what we are doing right now. So yeah. So no questions
Okay.
so far on the presentation.
Okay, perfect. Then what would be expected by the end of this training is we would like you, as we reach the level 3, and even by the end of each level, we would like you to start to come up with an action plan, because then you will be tasked with taking all what you've learned and delivering it to your community. So by the end of this training program, you have to actually have a clear action plan of how you are going to proceed your activities as a local network lead. So this is something like, as we proceed in the training, we're going to sort of give you more details about the structure of the plan, but this is something that you have to like keep in mind and start working on, I think, since day 1 of the training. Then after successful completion of the training, what you expect from us at AREN is, of course, we're going to give you certifications for the training that you've completed at each level. And if you were successful at accomplishing all what's required, you will be officially recognized as a local network lead. And this, of course, will be displayed in all of our official website and our social media platforms. And as I've told you earlier, AREN is a part of a really large network of open science professionals. So you will be introduced to this network of professionals, which will help you a lot in sort of finding information and skills that you would need to act as a successful local network lead. And then you will also have priority in upcoming training events, because as we said, this training is sort of confined into main topics, but then as we go on, we're going to have more trainings in more open science topics. And since you will be recognized as a local network lead by AREN, you will have the priority to attend these training events. And of course, you will have a chance to grow within AREN because now we're sort of establishing our local networks, but then the next step would be for these local networks to evolve into national networks and to regional networks. So you will have the chance, of course, this depends on your engagement, on your activities, to be sort of promoted within AREN from a local network lead to a national network lead and even to a regional network lead. Then you will be tasked with coordinating AREN activities within your country or within your entire region. Finally, I would like to clear out some of the training platforms that we're going to use. Clara, you have a question? Please go ahead.
Yes, I do. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
Thanks so much. It's in respect of the 6 months of trainings you talked about. You know, most of us here are working, some are students.
Yes.
How is the timetable going to be to avoid interfering with our own jobs and schools?
Well,
or is it going to be a 2-day program?
Excuse me, is it going to be what?
The programs, are they going to be full day or they are going to be weekends? I think there's need for you to look into it so that the planning will not, as in the activities will not coincide with our work or our schools, as the case may be. Yes.
Yeah, well, this is a very important point that you raised, Clara. And as I said, like we come from so many diverse places and diverse, as you said, some of us are working, some of us are still in school. So it would be really difficult to find a time that would 100% fits everyone. But like the training sessions are a maximum, especially for the level 1, they're not more than an hour and a half, 2 hours maximum for the level 1. And the same for the level 2. So it will not be sort of something that consumes your whole day. But then you will have time for the assignments and the surveys. This will be done at your free time. So by that, we hope that we would be able to not disrupt the schedules of everyone as much as possible. I hope that answers your question.
It does. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you. We have another question.
Yeah, Lamish, to add to what you just said, I think one other limitation when we were also doing the schedule was the availability of our trainees who are also spread across the world.
Trainers, you mean?
Trainers, yeah, who are spread across the world. I think these are also very busy people, and we needed them to let us know when they could be available, and then we would kind of check the time zone range of our trainees and then find a little bit of an appropriate time. So you will see that the times that we may be having the various sections weekly may be different. Some of them may be early, maybe some of them may be in the noon, some of them may get closer to the evening times, but we're just hoping that despite the changes in the times, you can at least attend 50% of it. We do know that most of the trainees are workers, institutions and etc. So we don't expect you to attend all, but at least half of the sections, and the sections will also be recorded to account for people that are not able to attend. So we did consider that, but there are still constraints kind of. So it may inconvenience some people But when it fits within your time frame and then you are free, we encourage you to hop on because we want very interactive sessions. Yeah.
We have another question.
I think someone also posted in the chat that how are they going to be evaluated? I think that has to do with the evaluation.
Okay, where the evaluations are actually going to be determined by our trainers, but we are going to update you with that as the training proceed. But what's certain is that we will have 3 surveys for each level. One of them is the pre-training survey, which is already out, and I hope that everyone had the chance to interact with it and fill it. We'll have another survey in the mid of the training and a survey by the end of the training. So these surveys will also feed into your evaluation and mainly measure, like it will mainly show us your interaction with the training. But like the different each trainer is going to have a certain way of evaluation, and we will make sure to explain this to you very clearly. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, that's good, Vanis.
Okay. I think there's another hand raised. Is it?
Yeah, Afresh was asking about whether he could join the training program because he couldn't get added. So I think we can talk about this at the end of the
Okay.
training. Yeah. So Afresh would
Okay.
address your issue at the end of the training. Yeah.
Okay. So if is there any other question? Okay.
No, I think you can proceed. I'll share the link with.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So I think you can proceed.
Okay, then. We will be using some platforms sort of to interact and to do the training. Of course, Zoom is going to be our main platform through which we're going to be delivering the training. And I hope that all of you didn't have any issues joining the Zoom session. We're also going to share with you a calendar, a Google Calendar, which has the dates of the training, all the trainings of the level 1. So you will have sort of the map of the two months of training. You'll have the sessions and you will have the time of each sessions. So we're going also to share this with you. Also, we'll have a joint Google Drive where we will be depositing the materials, the slides of the training, the assignments, the recordings. Everything is going to be within that Google Drive so that you have access to it whenever you need. And finally, we are going to use Slack because we are looking for a way through which we could chat and interact. So Slack seemed to be the most appropriate platform that would allow us to do that. So I hope also by now that, because I think all of you received the link to join the Slack in your email, but no worries, we're going to share all of these links with you now. So these are the main like platforms that we're going to use. So if you're not so familiar with them, we would love if you could like get to know a bit about these platforms so that you could smoothly be able to interact and use them throughout the training. So because we're trying to be mindful of everyone's time, I know we said this session is an hour and a half, so we have 2 minutes left. So is there anyone else who have a question regarding the training or the plan ahead or any worries, anything?
Yeah, Lamis, I think it will be also good to talk about one of the issues and concern that came up during the retraining survey about a concern about being able to keep up to pace with whatever we do. Yeah, the training seems intense, 6 months, and there are some weeks that there will be maybe 3 sections. That's the maximum of sections that I think we could have in a week, if I got that correct. So there are some weeks that may be a bit busier, but mostly there's 2 sections within a week. And like Lame said, maximum is an hour and a half or maybe 2 hours. So it can be a bit intense, but there is a little bit of flexibility introduced at the second level. We hope you read the summary document that we shared about the training program, and you've gone to our website and then seen the information about our training model. So there is flexibility introduced at level 2, where you have the option to kind of select some of the topics that you want to take part in. So at that point, there will be more flexibility because you'll not be attending all the sections. But for level 1, every session is compulsory. That's something we want you to take notice of. So it may be intense a bit and tough for level 1, but for level 2, there will be that flexibility there. We are hoping that you would attend all the sections. It gives you that diversity and broad knowledge. But we also wanted to reduce the constraints on you and the commitment from your end, looking at your schedules and all that. So that is why we came up with that flexibility. So you shouldn't be worried so much about being able to keep up with to pace with it. I'm sure you'll be able to contribute as much as we hope you're able to do. And also, we want the training to be more interactive and more of a dialogue model than a deficit model. We don't want trainees to attend sessions and then just take information in. We want you to digest the information there, ask questions, tell the trainers that I don't think this is a bit practical from my end or in my field because of these reasons. We want to know these things. We want to know whether the knowledge out there, the principles out there, the information out there is something that is really practical, looking at our culture here, our systems here. So take the training sessions as an opportunity to digest the information and then compare it to the systems within your institutions or within your discipline, and then see if they are really applicable or not. If they are not, we suggest that you let the trainers know so we can look at how we can come up with solutions. That's one of the major reasons why we are organizing this training program. So we are hoping you join the live sections and interact a lot with the trainers and with your fellow trainees. And at the end of the day, we are hoping that we can impact the community like we hope you can do.
So I think with that, to be mindful of everyone's time, we could close this session. So thank you very much for attending. It's been a pleasure really to start to get to know you. I'm sure that we'll chat a lot in the upcoming days of the training. And yeah, we're really looking forward to having you there. So yeah, you're free to hop off if you like. Just Afresh, would you stay so that we could discuss? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah,
All right, thank you.
you.